Oh, this is Gary Marr from Glen Community College. This screencast is for my CIS133DA online class spring 2018. I've got a couple of videos that I'm going to cover this first module, week one. One is going to be on how the syllabus has been set up, talks a little bit about how I'm going to do grading, some of the rules of the class. And then I'll follow it up with a second video, which is going to talk about how I've organized Canvas for this class. So starting with the syllabus, look at this. Let's look at this first. Now, this particular screen is in, it's my screen, it's the instructor screen. It might look a little bit different than yours in terms of some of the icons and some of the options, because this is what I'm using to develop the Canvas session with. I'll try to some point here, either with this video or the next one, bring it up in student mode so it looks a little bit closer to yours, but I think it should work for what I want to talk about today. The information about the class here, general information on top. This is an online class only. I don't have any plans to have any meetings on campus. It's an online class. But if you have any questions or problems, you can always call me. You can send me an email. We can even arrange to have you meet me on campus. I am a full-time instructor. I'm also the department chair, which means I have a fair amount of free time available to help anybody with questions, either over the phone, a chat session, a screen session, a video capture, whatever the case may be. I would prefer that any email questions you send me them via Canvas email, but also you can send them to my email on campus. My phone number for my office is here. I perhaps will put a Google Talk in their number, a Google Talk phone number there at some point. That way it also rings on my cell phone, but you have my office phone at this point. My office on campus is 126 in Building 01, which is just east of the business building, which probably most of you are familiar with. The competencies come from district, and we all share these competencies across the Maricopa Knowledge System. This is a basic class in HTML and CSS, which is required to develop web pages. The book for this course is Vodnik, and we've used a couple of different versions of this book over time. It's a Cengage product. What's nice about the book is it's very easy to follow. I think that if you have any exposure with CIS105 or any one of our other programming classes, you're going to find this book is very helpful and it's very easy to find. I am using all the assignments are going to come from the textbook, because the nice thing about that is the assignments map well to the text. Since this is an online class, one of the things that a lot of students have problems with online is that sometimes the questions you come up with, you'll have to solve yourself or wait for my answer. Whereas if I draw the assignments from the textbook, it's likely that there's something else in the textbook to help you. There's also screenshots of what a successful assignment would look like. ISBN number is down at the bottom here. This book should be available both new and used, and a whole bunch of places. Oop, typo. That should be bookseller. Amazon would have this textbook, for example. Format's online. You can take it at home, wherever you want. You can come to the High Tech Center on GCC's campus and take it from here. We have what looks like a lot of stuff here. We have a pre and a post test quiz, and then we have a quiz for every unit in the textbook. These are all fairly short quizzes. I don't think they're going to be too much of a problem, but 10 points too, they're not big hitters. And this keeps you engaged, keeps you on task, keeps you engaged in the class and following it. One of the biggest problems we have with online classes is the one I just mentioned, students having to find some of the answers themselves or wait for a teacher. And then secondly, students quite often will procrastinate. If you procrastinate a couple of weeks, you're going to find yourself behind. So by assigning these units the way they are, both the quizzes and also the assignments, you'll notice they're all 10 points. There seems to be a lot there, but I think you're going to find they're reasonably straightforward and they'll keep you on task. You'll have 5 discussion questions in the course of the semester. These are all worth 5 points. And as you will see in the descriptions, if you post your initial response to the discussion and then post 2 or reposts or replies to other students, you get 5 points. If you just put yours out there, it's 3. If you do yours and one other student, it's 4. You will not be able to reply to another student until you post first. And again, this is maybe a question, the first assigned discussion question, but once we get started, it's pretty straightforward. A lot of classes do it like this at GCC. All of this assignment information is laid out in the modules, which we'll talk about in the Canvas organization video, which will follow this one. Attendance Each week you will be asked to send me it'll be an assignment, it's a post to me that will tell me what you're working on and if you have any problems. That way we have a connection. Grades are awarded based on a percentage of total points. You'll get so many points out of the total, and that percentage will lead to A, B, C, D, or E. F. To get an A, you must do all of the assignments, all of the quizzes, all of the assignments, everything. I forgot to mention, there is a final project, which is, I'm still putting it together, but I suspect what it'll be is more of a free-form assignment where you get a chance to show us something about yourself in terms of what you like to do, how you like to organize things. It's a way for you to be creative. But all total, we have 405 points, and if you turn in all of the assignments and have 90%, you get an A. If you don't turn in some assignments but still have 90%, that's not going to be an A. It's going to be less than that. You have to turn in all the assignments. Assignments are all generally due on Friday or Saturday. I will complete a calendar for this class. It's probably not done quite yet, but by the time you listen to this, it probably will be. But you'll find from the modules I've laid out that the assignments are all been placed in there. And if you just follow the modules week by week, you'll be fine. Here's a little bit of information about the discussion, communication, attendance. I'm not a real big sticker on attendance, especially in an online class, but if I don't see a couple reflection statements from you, which means you kind of missed 2 weeks, you're probably going to be asked whether you still want to be in class or withdrawn. I will give you up to the last day of class, to take a W for the course. That doesn't impact your grade. Let's see. I don't think a lot of this other stuff. Don't cheat. If I find that you cheat, somebody else is probably cheating with you. Typically, the experience I've had with cheaters is that there's one person that's not so smart about things. The other person is usually pretty good. A lot of times that person who knows what they're doing shares something, and the person who shared it with them, or they shared it with, isn't too smart and copies it. And then that's a problem because you're both going to lose a full grade on something, which is probably going to mean you're going to fail. And all the dishonesty stuff is here. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Sexual harassment's in here. This is also in the student handbook. Disability is also in the student handbook, but if you have a disability, let me know. And more importantly, let the disability office know, and they'll let me know, and that way we can accommodate it. Let's see. If you're a Maricopa employee, please let me know that also. You'll know why. For every hour of credit hour, I'm expecting at least 2 to 3 hours of study outside of class. This is a 3 credit hour course. That means between 6 and 9 hours. If you've got some experience with this, less. If you've never seen it before, a lot. Keep that in mind if you want that A. This syllabus, this Canvas material could change a lot. This is the first time I've put together this course with this book. I've taught a lot of online. I've taught this course before, but I may decide to supplement with some things or change some things. I will not change the grading rubric or the grading mix. The assignments, the quizzes, the tests will remain the same, but I could have more videos. I could change some videos. I could have other resources I engage in the teaching of the class. That will kind of depend on how things go here. Here's a list of some of the items that are coming up in the weeks they're going to be due. I have not matched these assignments yet to actual calendar dates. If you're used to using the Canvas calendar, give me a couple of days here to get that fixed up completely. I just want to make sure everything falls correctly before I go and modify that calendar a lot. That's about it for the syllabus. If you have any questions whatsoever in this course, don't be afraid to ask me. Chances are, if you have the question, 10 other people have the same question. And there's always questions in learning new material. Send me an email. Give me a phone call. And if it's important enough that I think that multiple people would be interested in the answer, I will share the answer or maybe even create a video on your question or solution to your question. That's all for now. Good luck to everybody. See you online.